Finding the right aim routine could drastically increase your performance in Counter-Strike, and today I'm going to show you how to exactly do that. I'll break down what the fundamentals of aiming are, and then go through how you guys can work on these individually because there is really important fundamentals that you need to work on. But before we get right into the video, if you guys want any cool skins in your inventory, then please check out the sponsor of this video, Skins Monkey.
Skins Monkey is a CS2 skins trading site and marketplace that provides an instant way to get new skins. My favorite thing about Skins Monkey is that I can trade skins that I no longer want and trade it for a skin that is equal value. If you use code Louis CS2, you get a $5 bonus on your first trade. If you want to buy skins, you can get a 30% deposit bonus plus an extra 5% using my code. The link is down in the description.
So what are the fundamentals of aiming? Well, there's three categories that are split up, and those are tracking, flicking, and switching. Now, everyone knows what tracking is, but if you don't, it's where you're literally just tracking a target. Tracking isn't used that much in Counter-Strike unless maybe you're playing against an eco round or a pistol round where you have people really wide swinging you with a Glock, or maybe if you're an opper and you have to really hold an angle where someone is aggressively wide swinging you, then you obviously have to track that opponent, especially if you aren't fast enough or maybe you fell asleep at the wheel. Working on your tracking, you'll notice big improvements when you're playing against a round where maybe they force buy with 5.7s and MP9s, because everyone knows people love to run and shoot with the MP9s. But if you really want to practice this, let's go in a couple ways that might be able to help you. So the first way that you can practice tracking is simply by just going into this workshop map, which I will link down below in the description. And it's literally just bots running at you and around you. Now you can no clip around this map if you want to get some different looks on how the bots are moving at you. But I personally just like to stay in the middle, and I just like to let the bots run around me. Now there is multiple workshop maps that have this same feature, so you don't have to play this one if you don't like it. There is a futuristic one, which you're now seeing on your screen here. So whatever you're feeling, if you want the light mode of the map or maybe the dark mode with the neon features, then I do suggest that you find whatever map you want to play, and this will drastically improve your tracking. I usually do around 1,000 kills for if I am trying to train my tracking and improve it, or for my warm-up, I usually do around 300 kills because I don't want to overwork myself, but I do highly recommend this map. But if you want to work on your tracking outside of Counter-Strike, let's talk about Aim Labs. Aim Labs has a lot of different playlists that you guys can use. I know Elige has some tracking in his Aim Labs playlist, but there's also custom playlists tailored for Counter-Strike that you guys can go check out as well, just using the search function in the game. Or you can go check out the rank category, which has 3 tracking games on there that you guys can play. I've been grinding these and trying to get Grandmaster. But the cool thing about Aim Labs is that you can actually track your performance. So if you are someone that you might find yourself being inconsistent, or you want to keep track of how much you are improving, I highly suggest Aim Labs if you really want to practice your tracking and really improve yourself on some crucial important rounds in Counter-Strike. So now let's talk about flicking. Now everyone knows what flicking is. We've all watched Screenplay or someone like Nico or even Munacy with the op. He has some insane flicks, but you might be asking, how can I train myself to hit shots like the pros do? If you are a beginner to Counter-Strike, I highly suggest that you just grind out some aimbots. A lot of pros like to just chill out in aimbots and go to like 2,000 to 5,000 kills, so I highly suggest that you guys do this if you are newer to Counter-Strike. So whatever routine you're trying to do for flicking, you just have to make sure that it's working on your muscle memory. I did recently just find a cool workshop map by the creators of 5E, and they actually have this cool little target map. It's just like the aim trainee maps that I usually show in my videos, but this one is designed pretty much the same way, but this map also has a lot of different things on it too, which I won't showcase too much now, but I'll just kind of give you a little preview of it. But you can do little maps like this where you're just flicking to targets, but just remember that flicking is all about muscle memory. So as long as you're working on that muscle memory, you will notice a big increase in your flicking. It's kind of just like lifting weights. You always want to lift more weights to improve. So it's the same way with flicking. The more aimbots you're going to do for training, the more you're going to see improvement, but just make sure you don't overwork yourself. Now, since I talked about aim labs earlier for tracking, you can still do the same thing for flicking in the Aim Labs game, but I highly recommend you work on this in Counter-Strike just so you can get a better feel for the game and understand the mechanics a lot better, because Aim Labs doesn't really match up to Counter-Strike with the same feeling that I noticed while playing it. So I do recommend, especially if you are a new player, try to stick to Counter-Strike if you want to work on flicking. But if you are an experienced player, you will notice some big improvement if you do try to work on different situations of flicking in Aim Labs. Now let's talk about the last fundamental of aiming, and that is switching. If you don't know what switching is, it's just flicking to a moving target. Now, to work on this, you can use the workshop map that I showed earlier with the bots running around you that will help you with tracking, but I highly suggest that you do this in Aim Labs. Aim Labs in the rank mode has 3 cool little game modes that I've also been grinding as well that has some pretty hard moving targets, which I've actually noticed has helped me in Counter-Strike, especially with players jumping at me with MAC 10s or MP9s. I can easily switch to their head just flying over me or just right in front of me, since all these guys just love to jump around. Switching is definitely something that you need to work on because running and shooting right now in CS2 can be easily abused, and you need to be able to shut this down so these guys don't get away with it because they think it's a free pass if they just jump at you. So I highly suggest if you want to work on switching, you go start up Aim Labs and kind of grind some of those maps. I started out playing in ranked and I haven't really found any other maps in the custom game modes. So if you don't want to go searching for them, I would just head over to the rank section and just simply start grinding those maps. Now, when you play some of these maps and work on some of these categories, you'll notice, how do I make a routine? Well, you simply just find whatever you like playing on that you feel like you're improving on, and you put those together and you make that your routine. You want to play each map that you're playing, either the workshop map or maybe the category in Aim Labs, for about 30 to 45 minutes. I would say if you're not noticing improvement then, you can definitely increase it to an hour. But my aim training personally right now is around 3 hours every day that I'm doing. And there's a lot of different ways that I do aim train. I do try to stay consistent with what I'm doing in Aim Labs, but sometimes I like to move over to Refrag. Now, if you don't know what Refrag is, it's actually a paid service, and I'm not sponsored by them, so me advertising this, I earn no money, but I do highly suggest you go check them out because they have a lot of cool game modes that don't even just work on your aim. They also help you with positioning and movement, especially in the counter strafing department. They even have some spray maps that you guys can play on, and I think it's only like $7 a month I pay for, so it's definitely worth it. So if you are struggling to find a routine, or maybe you hate going on Aim Labs or going into workshop maps, you can simply just load up a Refrag server and play all their different game modes. I know Elise uses Refrag right now because he's a co-owner and he's been playing pretty well recently, so I do think that it actually does help you. So if you are having trouble finding the routine, you can always just try to play on Refrag and pay that $7 a month. Now, if you don't know what you need to work on, you need to find your weakness. And I talk a lot about this in all of my videos, but in order to find your weakness, you either need to watch yourself or just be able to self-criticize yourself in the moments. And I find that's very hard to do. So the next time you guys go play deathmatch or hop in a pug, Premiere game, whatever it is, make sure you open up any recording software you want. I highly recommend OBS, and just record yourself playing. And then you can go back and watch yourself and try to find if you're lacking on flicking or tracking or even switching to moving targets. This is very good to find what you are weak at, and I highly suggest you do this because even I do it. Every pro does it as well. So I highly recommend that, especially if you are a new player, and you will even notice more things than just your aim. You'll be able to help develop your game sense a lot more, and you'll just improve drastically as a player. And a lot of pros actually don't talk about recording their own gameplay, so that's just a little secret pro tip if you made it this far in the video. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you guys comment down below. I reply to all your comments and appreciate all the criticism. So if I did miss anything, make sure you guys put that down below and I'll hit you with a reply and a like. But if you guys want to see some daily CS2 content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and like the video if you liked it. And if you didn't like the video, like it as well. And I appreciate that very much. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace out.